Speaking of Justin Waller, he had a question for you. His question was, has your view of the red pill community changed over time? And if so, how? And the second question is, when are you coming to Miami?
Is he on your phone right now? Is he
No,
talking to you?
no, no.
Okay.
We discussed this yesterday.
Yeah, I like Justin. So I'm going to rephrase that. My view of the manosphere has changed. I view it as the Manoswamp now.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I really think that it's primarily filled with people that aren't good men or good at being men. That being said, I think there's a lot of good information, and you have to be good at separating the wheat from the chaff. And I don't think the average Joe out there that's looking for help or that's stuck, in his life has got the skills or the tools to do that. So it's a complex question.
Yeah, my producer is agreeing with you 100%. Red pill, or the ideas from evolutionary psychology, are a technology that you can use, but you can use it for good or for bad. And if you need it for a justification to hate other people or to become very evil or angry or whatever, or just the worst for me is the justification on why your life didn't turn out the way it was supposed to because the whole world is tilted against you. I feel like that is where it kind of gets harmful. When you say this, are you referring to like red pill rage? Is that what you mean before? Because you said I'm one of the things. I'm skipping to the end of your book, but in the last chapter, I thought I really appreciated. You said let's not blame women for this. Like I think it's just a function of natural selection. Women have to have a way to sort whichever men are alphas or betas. Now I think there's an evolutionary mismatch. I think the way they choose, like choosing people who look like Post Malone, is kind of weird to me, or Tekashi 6ix9ine. I think there's some sort of evolutionary mismatch here. Is that what you're talking about before when you say the Manoswamp?
I mean, this is a deep rabbit hole, brother.
Yeah.
Like, where do you want to start with the Manoswamp?
So let's go specifically into angry men. Or do you feel
Okay.
like there's some men that are like, I don't think red pill. This is going to be really controversial. I don't think red pill turns men misogynistic at all. What I do
Right.
believe, however, is that people who are already misogynistic come into that community and then they're like, here's a justification for what I believe. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So, to the point of the angry guys, look, I mean, anger is a legitimate response in the face of injustice. It's okay to get mad. There's nothing wrong with that. But what are you going to do with that anger? Are you going to sit there and let it fester and grow within you and multiply? And, now you become this enraged ball of like red anger sort of thing? Or are you going to take ownership for the things that you can control and do something to, improve your situation? If you're angry because women haven't chosen you in the past and chosen other guys, well, ask yourself why, right? Because you're only here today because your dad, your great grandfather, your great great grandfather, you can keep going down the line, somehow figured out something that you're milling over right now that's not serving you, right? So the whole victim mindset bugs me. I've never liked it. Some people get angry when I say that, quitting is like winners never quit and quitters never win, right?
Mm.
So there's lots of times in my life that I could have quit. There's lots of reasons that I could give you for why I shouldn't be here today or whatever, right? But I don't adopt the victim mindset, right? I adopted the winner's mindset. Some people get angry when I say that, quitting is like winners never quit and quitters never win, right?
Mm.
So there's lots of times in my life that I could have quit. There's lots of reasons that I could give you for why I shouldn't be here today or whatever, right? But I don't adopt the victim mindset, right? I adopted the winner's mindset. Like I've always had that. I've never sat back and said, F this, we're done, right? Like there's just so many guys today that haven't been given the skill set to deal with things like rejection, when women
Yes.
reject them, or how to do the work in life and have competency skills, like basic competency skills, right? Most guys wouldn't even know how to check the oil or change a flat tire if
Mm.
something happened to their car on a road trip. And that's when women look at them like, is this guy really the best I can do? Like he's got to sit on the phone and find somebody that can do this when he's a man and there's a tire in the spare trunk. And this is a basic function that my dad could do or my granddad could do.
Yeah, you talked about that before. Like women would constantly be again another evolutionary. This is an evolutionary tool. Women would constantly be checking for the competency of the man that they're with.
Correct.
And I try to explain to people when we go to a plasticine Homo sapien, if a woman chooses the wrong partner, it's not I end up with a baby or I end up with a fucked up story or a crazy baby's daddy or whatever. You die. You are ostracized from the tribe if you picked the wrong partner. And so
10,000 years ago, absolutely. Today,
exactly.
not so much, and that's the
Yes.
difference.
Yeah. Well, 50,000 years. I mean, Homo sapiens is about 300,000 years old. So 70,000
Yeah.
years ago, you make that mistake and you die. We
Yeah.
came up, and I try to explain to people. So hominids are about 3 million years old. Homo sapiens about 300,000 years old. So you think of 300,000 years and then 11,700 years of agricultural revolution. In that point, we're now the apex predator on the planet, and we can grow our own food, yada, yada, yada. But from those first 300,000 years, you have to think every single thing, every predilection we had as Homo sapiens had to assist in survival. 100%. If any of them didn't, if you had somebody tears their ACL when they're 15 years old, they die. They end up getting killed by whatever predators around there. And so every single thing that we had are desire, fear of snakes, fear of heights, fear of spiders, those things, or the fact that we like a certain hip to waist ratio, facial symmetry in females, and signs of youth. Those things had to be selected for. They had to be natural selection for those things, and people don't understand that. So there's 300,000 years of that, 11,700 years of agricultural revolution, 15 years of Facebook. But because of the recency bias, we think the world is Facebook. We think the world has always been this way, and it's the evolutionary mismatch that causes things like 80% of men on Tinder are considered unattractive, right? I feel like that's where some of this mismatch comes from.
Yeah, nobody understands the evolutionary history of desire and attraction. And I think one of the best books that you can read as a guy is the book, it's titled The Evolution of Desire by David Buss.
Yeah.
You're not going to like some of the stuff that you come across in it, but who cares? Like that's, if you have a problem with the facts, the problem is not with the facts. You have people today that will get up in the morning and they'll think that their entire purpose in life is to go to school, get a degree, get graduated, get a diploma, frame it mahogany, go out and get a job, work for a guy, like all these things. And it's like, okay, the reason why you're only here is to scatter seed if you're a guy. And if you're a girl, the reason why you're here is to find the best guy that you can lock down.